Hello and welcome. It's your man in the shed, Andy P. Once again, not in the shed. Who knew? Anyway, so today we have been given a subject which I am going to do, but I'm not going to do it today. Reason being, it's the stupidest Olympic sports, and I said I need to do a bit of research for that one. I need a few bullet points. Can't do that whilst I'm driving. I do have the ability to talk and drive at the same time, but there's going to be sports that I'll miss off, so I need to do a little bit of research for that one, but it is what I'm going to do, and they were suggested by Jazz and Dom. So who are Jazz and Dom? Well, Jazz and Dom are two people I work with. They're two of our supervisors, allegedly. So let me tell you a little bit about Jazz and Dom. So who should we pick on first? Let's pick on Jazz. So Jazz, who is a lovely Aryan girl, she's worked at Pitcher for quite a few years now, from Southampton, I believe. So, you know, she went far to university, didn't she? She's still doing her third year. I think she's been doing that for about 4 years now, roughly. She'll get there eventually. Yeah. And then we've got Dom. Well, Dom, he's a special form of person. Gotta love a bit of Dom. You remember Beaker the Potter? Well, that's Beaker the Potter. Dominic is Beaker the Potter. So what can we tell you about Dominic and the Beaker? So he actually did his degree and then he did a master's. Don't ask me what he done a master's in. Don't ask me what he done a degree in. I'm thinking possibly criminology, but I'm only guessing that because that's what most people did. Don't think he did a degree in that, but he might have done. He might have done it in something else. Doesn't matter. Don't really care. I'm not going to ask him because I don't care that much. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah. So he's extra special because he actually went back home to because he is from off of Stoke, so that's up north somewhere. He thought, you know what? I'm missing Winchester. I'm missing all my mates. I'm missing Andy in the kitchen because he's an absolute legend, and I need to go back and spend more time with Andy. So what I'm going to do with my degree and my master's, which technically that's 2 degrees, is I'm going to go back and work at the Pitcher, and I'm going to be on my basic minimum wage, which is about all I'm worth. So I've got myself 40 grand's worth of debt, and we just park here for a bit whilst this car figures out what it's going to do. But I've got myself 40 grand of debt, so what I need to be on is basic minimum wage, because Boris did tell me that we got a race going on here or what? Boris did tell me that I only need to pay back if I earn over, was it £25,000, and then it's only a certain percentage. To make this one even better, actually, was when this new payment plan, or how you pay it back, was brought in by the Tories and the Liberal Democrats when they were the coalition. So the way, if I remember, David Cameron was selling this one was, even though you've got, so it used to be £9,000, and I think that paid for your 3 years at university. They then did it so that the universities can charge you up to 9 grand. This has gone so off topic, but it doesn't matter. I do love David Cameron's analysis of this. It was a bit, yeah. So I think you used to have to pay back the 9 grand no matter what, whether you passed or not, you had to pay it back. But now they've done it that if you earn over a certain amount of money, you need to pay back a certain percentage in your wages. And if you're earning, say, I don't know, £500,000 a year, you might as well pay it off, because you're actually gonna end up saving some money. But if you earn, I don't know, 50, 60, 70,000, just ignore it and it'll go away soon. About 25, 35 years, and you don't need to worry about it, even if you haven't paid it all off. But they're like, oh yeah, you actually don't have to pay it off if you don't earn a certain amount of money. So he was trying to tell you that if you had 20,000 £27,000 worth of debt, you're actually better off. Anyway, it's getting back to Dom, because that's what I was talking about, and for some reason I had a random bit about David Cameron from off of 11 years ago now. Bit odd. Anyway, so Dom, he's got his degree. Dom, he's got his masters. Clever guy. You wouldn't know it looking at him. Hi Dom. So he's got his masters, he's got his degree. So what does he do? He comes back, but not only is he now no longer a odd job, he is now supervisor. So that means he has to run the shift. But did he get a pay rise? Nah, he's still taking the same money home as he used to. What a joke. Well done, Dom. Anyway, so today's topic, one thing they do say is when you're doing a YouTube video, get the topic in quick and explain it, and you will retain your listeners. Well, I'm now 6 minutes in and I haven't even mentioned what I'm talking about yet. So I think I might be the person who might not get the most amount of watchers. But never mind. So, because 25% of my viewing audience on YouTube for some reason is those Americans. Thank you, America. Not sure why. Probably the shorts. But not my shorts, of course, the shorts as in on YouTube. We're going to talk about cricket for some bizarre reason. So, the Australians, how you doing? All good? Hope you're well, Bill and Troy, and anyone else who happens to watch in Australia. Going to do a sport that you might actually understand. You're not very good at it, but you might understand it. Oh, a little bit of cricket politics there. Who knew? Anyway, so I don't really watch cricket. I don't really understand cricket. I understand you get a bowler, he's got a line, he has to bowl at you, fast, slow, bounce. Sometimes it's in a certain area and it is possible to be hit by a bat, it goes. And if it's too wide, it's a no ball and there's a point to the other team. I get that basic bit, and if you hit it with the ball and it doesn't bounce and I catch it, you're out. And I think also if you as the batsman were to hit it from your end and you hit the stumps at the other end, then I think that might put the other batsman, because you have two batsmen, it might knock him out, but I don't know about that one. And you have, so if it was American sports, so if we were to play baseball, rounders, you have a backstop, and the bowler is basically a pitcher, but the ball has to bounce before it's hit by the bat. And you have this massive great green, and you can hit a six, which is a bit like a home run, where you hit the ball out into the stands or past the boundary, probably called a boundary in baseball as well. I don't know and or care. For some reason my Yankees video did well, picture of Yankees, and that done well, not sure why. Don't understand baseball, never watched baseball, don't get the rules. Hated rounders as a kid, thought it was a boring sport at school. But cricket was close second, as is golf. Golf is pointless as well. But anyway, we're talking about cricket. So what I love with cricket is the commentators. Okay, so I have the BBC over here, so you have Radio 4 on long wave, you know, but you also have 5 Live, and you have 5 Live Sport Extra, which do a lot of cricket. And I was listening to cricket tonight, and they got a lot of commentators, and they're very passionate. They really know what they're talking about. But it was the hundreds. So the hundreds is a fast format of cricket where you have 100 balls, and you got to try and score as many as you can. And I had to say that the team that batted first didn't seem to be very good. I couldn't tell you how many they scored because I wasn't really that interested. That wasn't the point. The knowledge of the players is great, and they get players from other teams to come and talk about them as well on the radio, and it's good. And I enjoy cricket commentary. I prefer the test match cricket commentary though, not the length of the games. So if you're not sure what the difference is, then I'm not going to be able to tell you. apparently there's a red ball game and a white ball game. Not sure why, not sure how that works. What I'll give you what I think may be correct, and if someone could put, if there are any cricket fans watching this, what are you doing? Why are you watching this idiot who clearly has no knowledge of cricket waffling on about cricket? You know, this video clearly isn't because I'm a big fan of cricket. I'm just telling you about how I like cricket commentary, and especially test cricket. So red ball and white ball, what I can make out is the white ball format is the quicker format. So if any cricket fans are out there, could just tell me in the commentary if I'm right about that. That'd be good, because I've been wondering that. Not worried about it at all. But I've been wondering about that for a couple of years. So is the white ball format things like 20 cricket? Is that what it's called? And I guess the hundreds, and the quicker format, so maybe one dayers. Whereas the red ball game is the longer formats. So the test matches, like for example England Australia, and county championships, where I think it's playing over 4 days. So this is one of the absolute joys of cricket, is you have a game that can go on for 5 days, okay, and you still don't necessarily get a winner. Yeah, I'm the same. So certain people in the world don't like football because there's not enough goals, okay, but in cricket you can play a game for 5 days, and if you don't get both teams out, then it's a draw. So you can be absolutely rubbish at it. There was a test match England played earlier this year, and I think the game was out in 3 days. And this is another amazing thing with cricket. So I live in Hampshire in England, which is on the south coast, and there's been a few test matches at the Gears Bowl, used to be the Rose Bowl. It's Hampshire's home ground, and it's now a test ground as well. The love of it is, I remember I used to have a job at the Conkle Club, which is a jazz club in Southampton, or Eastleigh, and we had this group, and they were going to go and watch the test match at the Gears Bowl. It could have been the Rose Bowl back then, but the Gears is a company and they bought it, and it doesn't really matter why, but it used to be called the Rose Bowl, it's now the Gears Bowl, okay? Get over it, people, it doesn't matter about the name. Anyway, they went there to watch the cricket, and it rained all morning. So they came back. It's like, yeah, we're going to go back in the afternoon and we're going to watch when the cricket starts. They stayed there all day. So there was no cricket actually played on, let's say it was a Thursday. Could have been any day. Wasn't a Sunday, I didn't work Sundays. It was a weekday of some kind, because it wasn't a Saturday. But anyway, they came and they sat there and they looked at the weather. Yeah, we're not going now. And a couple of hours later, yeah, we're not going now. Oh, I got called off. But the thing is, so there's been absolutely no cricket played on that day. They don't then move that day. So that day, let's say it was day one. That remains as day one. Day two comes along, and it continues to rain, and it rains all day. That's day two done. So there was no play on day one, and there's no play on day two. Day three comes along, still raining, no play. Day four comes along, still raining. Now, even if the sun shone all day, and this is another thing that gets me about cricket, okay? So if you know that there is a chance that tomorrow, so let's forget that game now. That game's done. That game would have ended a draw, because there was no way, and I'll explain why in a moment, that the game could possibly be won. So the game of cricket, so in a test match, which is an international match which can go on for 5 whole days, You have to be able to get the whole of the opposition team out. So that means that they have 2 innings. So they've got 10 players. Most players have a speciality. So you either have a batsman or a bowler. You have, I'm going to say there's 11 players on a cricket team. I think I'm right. And you have, all 11 of those have to bat. They don't all have to bowl. So you're probably going to have 4 who specialise in bowling. Bowling, a bit like pitching. Okay, I don't know if the same person throws the ball at the same or the team. In baseball, don't really care. They don't in cricket, so you have what's called an over. So in test match cricket, I don't know if there's a limit to how many overs you could have. It's normally played quite slowly anyway, cricket. And some teams just seem to be able to play it slower and slower. Anyway, so in some formats of the game, like 2020, you have 20 overs. They're not allowed to call it overs, by the way, in the hundreds, because you get 5 balls per sets. So they're called sets in that, rather than overs, because an over has 6 balls and a set has 5. There you go, you learn something new. Even if I don't know much about cricket, I know a few rules and a few terms. So there you go. Where was I? Oh yeah, so you have to get all 20 players out. So you score a single or 1 point. If you hit the ball to the boundary along the floor, or it hits the floor before it hits the boundary, you get 4 points. If you hit the ball in the air, so it passes past the boundary or into the crowd, you get 6 points. And that's another thing. If you're sat in the crowd and you've got this dickhead that keeps hitting this ball and it's coming towards you and you're not watching, these balls are bloody hard. They could kill you. Just saying. And they don't wear a lot of head protection. You know, like the batsman wears a hat, and of course there was the sad case a couple of years ago when the Australian died playing cricket. I think it might have been a test match against England, but the ball hit him in the head and sadly he died. So you know, it's not a game that is necessarily there for the weak-hearted, and you know, you gotta be a bit brave to play this game, or stupid, or a bit of both helps. But one of the best things about cricket for me, we'll get onto the commentary, we've got about another 5 minutes to go, but the best bit about cricket over every single other sport in world sports is you get lunch and you get tea. Like, can you imagine? So my favourite actual proper sport is football. I do love a bit of wrestling, wouldn't call it a proper sport, but in football you have first half, half time, second half, 45 minutes first half, 45 minutes second half. And if it's, say, a cup competition, say the Euros or the World Cup, you might then get extra time, which is half an hour. You get 15 minutes each way, a very small gap as they change hands, and then possibly penalties. So you're looking at a game which should be 90 minutes, possibly go to 2.5 hours with stoppages and everything else. And that's quite long. You don't need to have lunch in that. But cricket, they start the game at about 11, so you don't even start that early. And I'll come back to this bit in a minute, but you don't even start that early. And then about 1 o'clock, the umpire, referee, is getting a bit hungry. So he thinks, oh, I know what, boys, we're going to stop now. We're going to have a cup of tea and a slice of cake. So they go and they don't just have a cup of tea and a slice of cake. They have a proper lunch. And when you hear people like Flintoff talk about it, it's like, it's incredible, you know. You go in, you have a 3-course meal, drink beer and stuff. Back in the day, you used to have people like Tuffers, especially if they were the batsman that day and they knew that there wasn't much chance that they'd be playing. He said they used to get absolutely tanked up. And and hope that your team can carry on. So if you're a batsman, it is possible that you could be out batting all day, especially if you're a good partnership and the bowling is favouring the batsman, which sometimes it tends to do. But yeah, it's an odd one. And then you play a bit longer, and then you stop for tea. So again, you can go and have another 3-course meal, and then you go out and have the evening session, and then you stop at about 6, even in the height of summer. So now it helps if cars got lights on, you can see them better. But I could still potentially play a bit of cricket out in this weather because it's still light enough, and it's just gone 8:30. So they stop in good time, put the floodlights on, carry on, boys. Especially if you know it's going to rain tomorrow, because you're now losing match time, and therefore if you have a day of rain, it's very unlikely that you're going to have a winner in the match. So cricket is a weird sport in many ways. I understand why people love it. I do, but I don't personally like it that much, personally. But I do like the commentators, especially Tuffers and Aggers. Especially, I remember listening to it once, and all they were doing was talking about bread and food. And this went on for about half an hour, and I found it fascinating. They were talking about cakes and apple turnovers, and then what it was like the tour and the sort of cuisines you would get from around the world. It was definitely interesting. But it still, to me, doesn't make much sense that you can play a game for 5 days and not have a winner. But there you go. That is English sports for you. And then the good thing in the olden day was when it was on the BBC, you never had adverts. I can imagine, just from doing a YouTube video, I can imagine that an advert is fantastic because it gives you 4 minutes to take a breath, think about what you're going to say next, rather than, yeah, okay, what should we talk about now then? So there you go. Anyway, I'm nearly home now. So that is my review on cricket. Well, not much of a review on cricket, to be fair. You know, I think I might have just managed to get about 14 minutes on cricket in there. So the subject was cricket. You wouldn't know from the first 6 minutes, but there you go. This has been your man in the shed. I am nearly home now. I imagine soon people will be able to tell where I am by just looking out my windows. I call myself man in the shed, Andy P. I'm not really a man in the shed because you don't get too many videos from a shed. Also, it's the summer holidays now, so the wife will be at home, so I won't even be able to do much from a Bertha series, much from a true crime series, but they will come back in September, and we'll do a bit more on the Olympics. So Olympics tonight, we got the triathlon, the ladies triathlon. Looking forward to watching that. Hopefully it will be on the BBC. And we're gonna get in there? No, we're not gonna get in there. We're not gonna try, because what's the point? So I will do my Olympic review. What I do like about the Olympics is you get all these random sports that you've never watched in your life, and after 2 weeks you think you're an expert on it. Like the taekwondo, even the commentators who were boxing commentators, to be fair. And one of the things I do love about the Olympics also, I've gone off on another one now, but one of the best things about the Olympics is you get commentators. I love football commentary, and you get the football commentators move over to the Olympic commentating. Now they can't all do football because there's only a small amount of football that actually takes place at the Olympics, so they get put onto random sports. So Alistair Bruce Ball, football commentator, he also does golf occasionally, so he'll go off and do the Masters. I think he quite enjoys that. For some reason he likes golf. Little person syndrome there, I think. But yeah, so he does golf, but this week he's been doing table tennis, and he's like, yeah, you can't do it straight for straight, you just gotta say they're doing well. And what else was it he was doing? I think he done the triathlon on the radio. Do like the triathlon, and that is a good sport to watch. Gonna watch the ladies again tonight, like I say. Don't know who's gonna win that one. I'm not sure. I think Johnny should give it a go. He might actually win a medal this time. And at the weekend, they've actually got a triathlon for relay, which is the men and the women taking part together. So that should be hopefully good. That's on Saturday, I believe. Anyway, I'm home now, so I'm gonna call it a night. Hope you're all well. This is being your man in the shed. A little bit on cricket, finishing with a little bit on the Olympics, and a random 6 minutes at the start about Dom and about little Hydric Himmler. I mean, jazz, not the music. And there you go. See ya, pals.